Ladies and gentlemen, the next President of the United States, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for all being here. This is some turnout. My great honor. The chairman just left, as you probably know, and he's been extremely fair. The RNC has been absolutely terrific over the last 2-month period. And as you know, that's what I've wanted. I've wanted fairness. I don't have to be treated any differently than anybody else. I just wanted fairness from the Republican Party. We're leading in every single poll. A new poll came out today where we're over 30%. We've actually hit numbers as high as 35 and 40%. And frankly, I felt that the absolute best way to win and to beat the Democrats, and very easily, I think, beat the Democrats, no matter who it may be, whether it's Hillary or anybody else. And I think maybe Hillary's going to have a very hard time, frankly, with what's happening, getting to the starting gate. The best way for the Republicans to win is if I win the nomination and go directly against whoever they happen to put up. And for that reason, I have signed the pledge. So I will be totally pledging my allegiance to the Republican Party and the conservative principles for which it stands, and we will go out and we will fight hard, and we will win. We will win. And most importantly, we will make our country great again, because that's what it's all about. We have to make our country great again. With that, are there any questions? This is a self-funded campaign. We have our heart in it. We have our soul in it. I don't need money. I don't want money. And this is going to be a campaign like I think no other. I'm not controlled by lobbyists. I'm not controlled by anybody. I'm controlled by the people of the country in order to make our country great again. Yes, sir. Yeah, I got nothing. All I have, I really got nothing. What the question was, what did I get for signing the pledge? Absolutely nothing, other than the assurance that I would be treated fairly. And I've seen that over the last 2 months, but they really have been very fair. No, I have no intention of changing my mind. Well, I think the big thing, Dana, that's changed is, and it's been obvious to all, number one, after I announced, we went up like a rocket ship. Nobody thought I was going to run, and they said, oh, he won't run, and he won't put in his papers, and he won't do all of this. I did that. The papers in terms of the company turned out to be spectacular. It's a great company. I built a great company. And all of the other papers have turned out to be very well received. And I think the thing that changed is the fact that I went to number one place very quickly after I signed, and after I, in this building, notified everybody that I'd be running for president. So I think the biggest thing is that I went early to number one, and the RNC has treated me with great respect. So that was very important. Yes. No, I see no circumstances under which I would tear up that pledge. Well, you don't have to be met when you're at 2%. It's one of those things. That's the way life works. And I like Governor Christie, by the way. Well, the chairman asked if he could come up. You saw him. He was here a little while ago. And I was greatly honored that he did come up, frankly. Well, I think that when you get right down to it, we're a nation that speaks English. And I think while we're in this nation, we should be speaking English. And that's how assimilation takes. And that's how, I mean, whether people like it or not, that's how we assimilate. And that's how we go on to that next phase and that next stage. And that's how people that don't speak English, and I'm not just talking about Spanish, I'm talking about from various parts of the world, that's how they will become successful and do great. So I think it's more appropriate to be speaking English. Yes. Well, one of the things I want to do, and I feel very strongly, it's a country based on borders, and our country is based on laws. And when people come into the country illegally, we should not allow that. And this is not from South America, this is not from Mexico, this is from all over the world. When people come illegally, we cannot allow that. And I want people to come legally. I want very much to take care of our border, because our southern border is a total mess. That's been proven. And interestingly, a couple of months ago when I announced, I made some very strong statements about the crime and the problems that were happening, and I've been proven right. And many of the people in this audience actually have apologized to me, which I very much appreciate. Of course, they haven't done it publicly, but these are minor details. Someday they will. The fact is that we are a nation that wants and needs borders. We're a nation that wants and needs and is based on laws, and we will make sure that that takes place. With that being said, I want people to come into our country legally. I want to have a big, fat, beautiful, open door. I want people of great talent to come in for Silicon Valley. I want engineers. I want physicists. I want people with great talent to come into the United States. When people graduate from college, you can be #1 in your class at Harvard, or #1 at Yale, or the Wharton School of Finance, or Princeton, or Stanford. And immediately, if you're not a citizen of the United States, you get thrown out of the country. We want those people to stay. We want people of great talent to be in the United States, to work here, and ultimately to become a citizen. I don't know enough about it to comment on it. Was she jailed? I really don't know much about it. No. Yes, go ahead. That's absolutely false. I win at golf. I win at golf. That I can tell you. Yes. Well, I understand how the system works maybe better than anybody. I understand the political system, and I understand also very much a system of coming in for illegal immigrants. Don't forget, if I didn't bring up the subject of illegal immigration, you wouldn't be asking the question. Nobody would even be talking about immigration. And immigration, and in particular illegal immigration, has become a very big factor. Now, a lot of bad things have happened with respect to crime since I brought it up. But if I didn't bring it up, immigration would not even be a subject that we're talking about, and it happens to be a very important subject. I have to say this, it can also be a very positive subject, because I believe so strongly in immigration, and we have to stop illegal immigration, and we have to look forward to great immigration done in a legal manner. But if I didn't bring it up, nobody would be talking about it. No, go ahead. Well, there is gridlock in Congress right now, and that's because there's no leadership at the top. You have to be able to lead. You have to get people into your office. You have to get people, go to them, any way you want to do it. But you have to be able to lead. There is no leadership at the top. Signing executive orders is not the way our country was supposed to be run. Yeah, go ahead.
A little closer to home, Times Square, the disorder there. They're naked women. Where do you stand on that?
I don't want to talk about that here. It's inappropriate. Yes, sir, go ahead. Tom Brady? Well, Tom Brady is a very good friend of mine. He's a great guy. For those of you that don't know him, he's a very honorable guy and an honest guy and a truly great athlete. He is really a very good friend of mine, and I just spoke to him a little while ago. He's so thrilled and so happy. Tom Brady, I think what they've done is terrible, and he's been exonerated, as I understand it, because I just heard about it. But I'm very happy for Tom. As far as the commission is concerned, they're having a rough year, let's face it. They're having a very rough year. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, on immigration, what would you say to the European leaders about problem of immigration in Europe?
Well, in Europe, they have tremendous problems where people are going in and storming, and it's a huge humanitarian problem. And I just say this, the United States has tremendous problems of their own. We have infrastructure that we have to fix. We have bridges and roads and tunnels, and everything's falling apart. Our nation's in such trouble. That's why being a builder, and a great builder, and a very successful builder, I think will greatly help. But we have so many of our own problems, including the border, including the wall, which we will get built, including all of the things we have, health care, which is a mess. You know, if you look at Obamacare, the premiums have gone up 45, 50, 55%. People are saying this is turning out to be a disaster. Deductibles are through the roof. The deductibles on Obamacare, it's through the roof. So we have a lot of problems. We have to take care of our vets. We have to build up our military. Just the other day, General Ordiano said that the Army is in the worst shape in its history in terms of preparedness. Now, for them to be in bad shape with the way we are and with the world hating us, and you look at Hillary Clinton, and I've said she's the worst Secretary of State in the history of this country. Now, in all fairness, because of the agreement that's about to be finalized with Iran, John Kerry may very well take her place. I think that agreement is a disaster for this country, for Israel, for the Middle East. It's going to lead to nuclear proliferation, the 24-day clause, everything about, we don't even get our prisoners back. You say, who negotiates a thing like that? That won't happen, I can guarantee you, with the President Trump. All right, one or two more questions. Yeah. You'll see it later. Yeah. They don't want to hear it. Yeah, go ahead. Could you say it up, please? All I want them to do, yeah, and say hello to Rosanna and Greg, okay? Great people. I would say, very simply, I just want to be treated like everybody else. You see, I was always the fair-haired boy. I was a big contributor. Nobody knows the system, but I was on the other side. And I was the elite. I was the fair-haired person. Once I ran, all of a sudden, I was a little bit of an outsider. I became an outsider because I was running, because I wasn't supposed to run. I'm this businessman that people have given me great credit as being a great businessman, but I'm not supposed to be running for office. The fact is that our country is being killed on trade by China, by Japan, by Mexico, both at the border and on trade. And I'm not knocking those countries. Their leaders are much, much smarter than our leaders. They are absolutely killing us. China, taking our jobs, taking our money, taking our base. And think of this, we owe China $1.4 trillion, and we're paying them interest. We owe Japan, with all of the cars coming in, the same amount, $1.4 trillion. That's like a magic act. They send the cars in, they take our jobs, they do everything, and we owe them money. That's not going to happen with me. It's been a long time. Go. Well, Jeb Bush is a very nice man. I'll be honest. I think he's a very nice person. I think he's a very low-energy person, and I don't think that's what the country needs. I hear that he's going to spend a lot of money on negative ads on me, and honestly, look, he's getting the money from special interests. He's getting the money from lobbyists and his donors, and they're making him do it because he's crashing in the polls. So I don't know what's going to happen. If he spends $20 million or $25 million on negative ads, I don't know. I know that my life will continue. I just don't know. I mean, nobody's ever spent money on ads against me. but he probably has to do that, although it would not be the way I've done. You know, one of the things that I'm most honored about is that so far, everybody that's attacked me has gone down the tubes. You have Lindsey Graham attacked me. He was at 3%, now he's at 0. You have Perry attacked me, now he's getting out of the race. He was at 4 or 5%, now he's getting out of the race. He was at 0. Everybody, Rand Paul attacked me. I see the last poll, the Monmouth poll just came out today, where I'm leading by double figures, and Rand Paul is down to less than 2%, and he attacked me. Now, Jeb Bush also just went down in the Monmouth poll, very big. So, I don't know. I mean, he's going to spend lobbyists' money and special interest money. Remember this, they have total control over Jeb and Hillary and everybody else that takes that money. Nobody knows the system better than me. They have total control. You understand it very well because you've been covering it for a long time. Those people that are putting up those millions of dollars have total control over your candidate. I will tell you this, nobody's putting up millions of dollars for me. I'm putting up my own money. In fact, I feel a little bit foolish. People are offering me millions and millions of dollars. You know, when you're in first place, you can collect so much money. And I keep turning them down. I feel like, am I a fool? I feel very foolish. And when I was in Iowa last week, I said, what do you think? Can I take, one man offered me, a big lobbyist, offered $5 million for my campaign. I said to the crowd in Iowa, great crowd, 4,000 people, I said, can I take it? And will you believe I'm not going to do anything? I promise you, I swear to you, I won't do anything. And they all stood up and said, no, no, don't take it. The fact is, I'm the only self-funder. I'm putting up my own money. I know there have been some super PACs, 5 or 6 super PACs, where people are forming super PACs for Trump. I have nothing to do with them. As you know, you're not allowed to have anything to do with them. So I don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully, if they're going to do something, it's going to be nice, but I don't know anything about them. But just in a nutshell, I'm funding my own campaign, nobody else's. When people advertise, and I hope the voters can see this, every negative ad they see about me is paid for by lobbyists and special interests. So just remember that. Yeah, go ahead.
You've been hit for your slogan by Marco Rubio, and you're talking now about all the problems in America. Do you mean to imply that America is not great right now? And if so, is there any country that's more advanced?
Our country can be doing much better. We have deficits that are enormous. We have all bad trade agreements. We have an army that the head said is not prepared. We have a military that needs help, and especially in these times. We have nuclear weapons that you look at 60 Minutes, they don't even work. Okay? If anybody saw that report, the phones don't work. They're 40 years old. They have wires that are no good. Nothing works. Our country doesn't work. Everybody wins except us. We need victories in this country. We don't have victories anymore. Our country will be great again, but right now our country has major problems. Yes, ma'am. Who is who? Yes, Carly. I think it's great that she's in the debate. I was in favor of her being. I think she should be in the debate. I don't like the fact that there are 11 people now. As I understand it, they're not getting rid of Rand Paul or somebody. But, and they should, because there's too many people. Because when you have 11, you're not going to hear me and you're not going to hear other people talking. And I think that's too bad. I think 11 is a lot of people. But I was very happy that she got into the debate because, frankly, she deserved to be in the debate. Okay?
Mr. Trump, do you think Vice President Biden gets into the race, and would you rather face Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden?
I think maybe he's inclined not to get in the race. I think it's going to depend on what happens with Hillary Clinton. A lot of people think that she will not be able to make it legally from a criminal standpoint to the starting gate. I don't know that to be true. But I think it depends on what happens with her. I think if she gets out, he will get in. I think if she stays in, he might not. Who knows?
Trump, you still going to Dr. Ailes recently?
Jeb Bush's campaign manager said yesterday on Twitter, you're carrying parts of GOP. Jeb Bush today on Good Morning America said you don't believe in tolerance. And the arms security come here, where is he?
Oh, he's not supposed to be here because he was here. He was up in my office, and he got the pledge, and we're very happy about that. We don't want anything. And I told him, I said, I don't know if it's appropriate, Reince, for you to be here because I don't want anything you know, you guys will end up saying he's endorsing Trump. That would be inappropriate for him. So I suggested, frankly, that I'm fine with him not being here because I don't want anybody to think he's endorsing. As far as Jeb is concerned, I watched him this morning on television, and it's a little bit sad. Don't forget, he was supposed to win, and he just doesn't have the energy. But what he does have is a lot of money that was given to him, again, by special interest donors and lobbyists. And I just hope that if he spends money on ads, which he may not, if I were him, I'd spend money on positive ads about himself. Because if he knocks me, assuming people leave, and maybe they're at a point where they're not going to leave because they're fed up with what's happening in this country, but I think they're going to go to people other than Jeb. Yeah, go ahead.
You told by the GOP has the right of your voters to say that President Obama was a Muslim, more important than the U.S.
I don't know. I'm right now, I'm interested in jobs. One thing, and one of the groups, it was actually CNN, I shouldn't say that, but they did a very massive poll, and I came out #1 in leadership, #1 on the economy, #1 in jobs producing. And I don't mean by #1, I mean like #1 by many, many times. And I am so intent on putting people back to work in this country. You know, we have 93 million people that are not in the workforce right now. 93 million. When they give up looking for a job, they take them off the stats. They take them off the statistics. We have 93 million people. We have 50 million people between poverty levels and welfare and all. Our country can be great again. We have to put people back to work. All right, one or two more. Okay, would I bring my children into the administration? I will tell you they are very capable. The answer is probably not. But having them in would be very good. They're very, very capable children. Second part, I won't bother asking because it's no longer pertinent. Okay, yes, back there. Go ahead.
I know that you feel very confident with who you're running against right now. Kanye West recently announced this.
Kanye West, you know what? I'll never say bad about him. You know why? Because he loves Trump. He loves Trump. He goes around saying, Trump is my all-time hero. He says it to everybody. So Kanye West, I love him. Now, maybe in a few years I'll have to run against him. I don't know, so I'll take that back. But you know what? He's been so nice to me. I sort of, you people have sort of seen, because I've been a counterpuncher. I only hit people when they hit me. Only. And Kanye West has been so great. I would never say bad about him because he says such nice things about me. No, my supporters are really supporting me because I'm very competent, because they know that I'm not going to let China rip us off. I'm not going to let Japan rip us off. Japan is devaluing their yen. Very hard for Caterpillar and other companies to compete against Komatsu, their big tractor maker, and others. We're not going to let this happen anymore. They do. You talk about a trade imbalance. They have, in Japan, the biggest ships you've ever seen, pouring cars into Los Angeles, pouring them in. I've never seen anything like it. We send them beef, and they don't even want it. It's going to end, and they're going to like us. In this building, I have the largest bank in the world, right up in these elevators. It's a bank from China, by far the biggest bank in the world. I get along great with China. I get along great with Japan. I get along great with Mexico. I love the people. I love the people of Mexico. I love the Hispanics. I have thousands of Hispanics right now working for me. Over the years, I have employed tens of thousands of Hispanics, many from Mexico. I have unbelievably great relationships. And in the package that we gave you, you'll see there's a poll. And I'm #1 with Hispanics. You saw that. #1 with Hispanics. So, look, for our country to be great, we have to be able to make great deals. We're going to be great to the vets. We're going to be terrific. Our military is going to be unbelievable. All of these things, we're going to get rid of Obamacare and come up with something that's much better and much less expensive. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to repeal it. It's going to be out. It should have been out a long time ago. Should have never happened. But we are going to take care of our country, and we're going to bring back jobs, and we're going to bring back wealth to the United States so we can afford to save Social Security, which I'll save without cuts, so that we can afford to do the kind of things that we have to do to make America great again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And here is your pledge. What? They put it in, yeah. Somebody else wrote it, so. We'll change the date. No, it's a bubble waiting to explode. And I've been saying that for a long time. I've been saying what they're doing in China is a bubble waiting to explode. And just remember something, when it's a bubble, we can't be brought down by that bubble. They've done things that caused it. We can't be brought down by that bubble. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing man. He is, as you know, right? Right? Speaker of the House of Indonesia. He's here to see me. Sept Novantno, one of the most powerful men and a great man, and his whole group is here to see me today, and we will do great things for the United States. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do they like me in Indonesia?
Yes, I like. Thank you very much.
Speaker of the House in Indonesia. Thank you very much.